A mentoring system that supports disadvantaged secondary pupils at risk of falling out of education is about to expand. MCR Pathways is a programme run in schools, and according to a report released today, 4 out of every 5 pupils that they mentored went on to college, university or a job. Iain MacRitchie is the scheme's chief executive. He's been telling me more.
Currently, MCR Pathways, we're supporting just over 2,300 young people each week within the school system. And effectively, we do 3 things. We have a full-time member of staff in each school as part of the school team and community. They do 3 things. They support the young people when they transition from primary school. They do a bit of group work in first and second year. They then match a mentor with that young person in third year. And that underpins third and fourth year. And then the third thing they do is help that young person access opportunities and work experiences and things that they want to go try.
You've done mentoring yourself, so what does that actually involve?
Well, the mentoring is, it's almost the reverse of what people think initially when you use the word mentoring, because people think it's about advice or it's coaching or it's telling people. It's the reverse in our case. We just want that adult who's matched with the young person in terms of shared interest to spend time listening to that young person. So it's relationship-based practice, and I think that is the chemistry of this. When these relationships are formed and a trusting one is formed, then the window opens, to the art of what's possible. And, this scheme really is simply focused on the young person and helping them to find, grow and use their talent.
So what kinds of results are you getting then? What are you seeing?
Well, what we've seen for 12 years of practice has been some breathtaking results, based on not just how that young person feels, their confidence, their self-esteem. I mean, that plays into the well-being and the mental health strategies that we keep talking about as a country. But we've seen it in hard measures. They stay on in school, they attain more, and they go on to university and college and employment to a far greater degree. Now, we've seen it, we've heard it, we've felt it, but what we've published today is independent research that sets it on a world-class level, not just what we've seen and heard throughout the 12 years.
So the figures are pretty stunning, aren't they?
Yeah, no, they are. I mean, they are stunning. I mean, what we're told, again, clearly I'm biased, but, we're told by experts, whether it's Sir Tom Hunter or Sir Harry Burns or Dr. Jim McCormack, that this really is profound in their experience from what they've seen. What I've seen at first hand, as a mentor as well as the founder of the programme, is that we've taken numbers where, half of the young people that are in the care system at the moment will progress, and this is when we started, will progress to college, university or employment. The independent research that's been done by ScotCen, which is, the largest in the UK, part of NatCen, but the largest independent social research agency. They have used world-renowned research methods to identify that their figures show, and I think it's statistical purity, that if you're not mentored in the same schools and in the same system, it was 56.3% were progressing to university, college and employment. If you're mentored in MCR Pathways, it was 81.8%. Again, a 25.3 percentage point difference. Now, that's the average over 3 years. That's the profound thing. That's just the average. What we've seen is even better numbers than that, with some people achieving, I think our highest recorded was over 35% improvement.
How do you do that just by listening to someone?
Well, that's the phenomenon attached to this. And I think when you boil it all down, as much as we, talk adult systems, complexity, education, schools, and there's a lot of politicisation of, schools, so the want of a better description, or education, it's really about the young person and the support of the individual. And perhaps, I think, sadly, it's indicative of the lack of support at home, the lack of role models. Particularly if you end up through no fault of your own in the care system, then you have instability at home. Instability at home means, and it'll be the same for you and I, if we have personal problems, it affects our concentration. If you've got constant instability at home, and it can be poverty related, it can be care related, it can be many different things causing it, it impacts your ability to concentrate in school.
And now the plan is to expand this.
Absolutely.
How widely will it go?
Well, for us and for me, this is very straightforward. Our ambition, which I think was coming into a goal, is we want there to be no difference in education outcomes, job choices or life chances relative for care experienced young people relative to any other. Now, what that means is every care experienced young person in Scotland should have this as part of the education system. That is our goal. We've extended across the country, so we are in the west, we are in the east. We're opened up in Edinburgh and Clackmannanshire and Falkirk, Aberdeenshire, Aberdeen, Shetland Islands shortly. So we have a footprint across the country, but we're looking to take at least in the next 18 months from that 2,300 young people number to 5,000. But most importantly for us, to get it underpinned in education policy and underpinned in every aspect of how we support care experienced young people. There's a care review that's getting its recommendations shared next week. The 5th of February, I think that's quite an important milestone. We very much want to be included in the implementation of those recommendations, just simply to make sure. I mean, it really is to make sure every single young person, particularly those in the care system, and I can't emphasise this enough, I've lost my prejudices that those young people must have done something or did they make a bad choice. They've made no choice. They've had no choice. Yet they're destined to circumstances dictating to them. We break that. We break that mould and make sure that these young people are determined by their talent and their potential and never their circumstances, irrespective of what they can be. So my prejudices have gone. I'm trying to share that across the board, as these young people are no different. They have exactly the same talent and capability. And if anything, what I'm finding, and it manifests itself in those numbers, when we support those young people in this way, and it can be as little as an hour a week of relationship-based time in school for a year, can translate into transformational education outcomes.
That was Iain MacRitchie of MCR Pathways. And yes, they are looking for volunteers. You can hit their website if you're interested.